Chapter 14. Business and Deals. A businessman. A businessman is a person who is in a business as a means of survival in society, as defined in economic terms. They invest small capital and gain returns with profits. They do ordinary trade and pass through the ordinary steps of trade as we know them. A businessman can trade in commodities, merchandise, property through real estates, forex, information and technology, among others. Business is a gradual process of achieving success. It is long-term and the easiest and most common to success. One may not need education to do business. Dealers. From my personal opinion, dealers are people in the money system that desire fast money. They are straight, formal, and non-straight, informal dealers. Among the straight, we have brokers that include real estate dealers, insurance dealers, stock exchange dealers, and the like. Informal or non-straight dealers, on the other hand, are largely cheats and financial criminals. They live only to earn by outsmarting people with money, which they call working smart. They come to a businessman or woman or rich person with what looks like a great business opportunity, and before you realize it, is fake. They have already taken off with your money. At times, they are so good at it that you cannot even have enough evidence to take them to courts of law to file a claim. I would not advise any young man or woman that really desires to become truly successful in life to even ever want to become an informal dealer. Dealers always end up in prison or die mysteriously. A deal. I would personally define a deal as a good, well-packaged business proposal that looks so promising on the surface, but when deep inside it, it is just a sham or a con. To me, anything in most cases that looks too good to be true is a fake deal. If, for instance, you are told that you can invest $1,000 and earn $100,000, with such a deal, one will most likely lose their initial capital investment of the $1,000. Maybe if it's a lottery, but even with a lottery, hundreds of thousands of people play the game, but only one wins. I am a businessman who only limits his investment to businesses. I never engage in deals, not even lottery or betting in a casino. Businessmen and dealers. Success is a gradual process. You take one step at a time. It is like a child growing up. They crawl, then walk, and then finally run. You cannot run before you walk. If you try, you will fall. So even with success, you need to adapt to the gradual process. That is why we businessmen say quick money does not last long, and that is the difference between a dealer and a businessman. Money from deals is lost faster than it comes. It is always very exciting to get, but lasts shorter than even your excitement. It is always short-term money. Business incomes accumulate gradually with a process to follow that is long-term. A deal can only earn you money in its paper form, good enough to be spent on your desires, but not to gain riches or wealth. A dealer will always live large temporarily to the extent of the mileage such earned amounts can last him. Dealers are never rich or wealthy. They simply hold large amounts of money temporarily and usually flash it around to prove to society that they are rich and well off. Realistically, a rich person does not have to put in any effort to prove he or she is rich, because that comes automatically as they progress in life. Their lifestyle improves with their progress on their way up to becoming rich or wealthy. To a businessman, as you progress to success, you leave behind trace marks on your path up. Successful people usually have successful stories to tell how they started and how they got where they are. Dealers, never. For dealers, it is always quick money, and they rarely keep or invest it because it is always easy come, easy go. Most dealers live large, but die poor, and in most cases, never leave behind assets for their families to inherit. The worst thing money from deals does to young people is that it retards their mind. For the young people with a lot of desires for material, expensive things, quick money from deals helps them buy things like nice cars, nice houses, so fast and with no effort at all. Such young people start living large and adapt to the rich people's ways of living. Yet, such money is not sustainable. There is always one deal at a time. If it was outsmarting someone and you got money from them, they will either arrest you to recover their money or you will keep on the run for life. Trust me, it is almost impossible to outsmart a rich person twice. Rich people can make mistakes, but are never stupid to make the same mistake twice. Once a dealer is accustomed to living large like the rich do, with no idea on how to start small, he or she will sell all that is left and invest it in trying to maintain a high status, because dealers usually use status to outsmart others. They always take money from people without too much effort, which is a very hard thing to sustain without resources. They will always use the rest of the remaining money to illustrate to their peers and the public that they are still well off. Once money gets used up with no chance of exploiting another person, they suddenly become poor. They drop back to their original position of poverty, but so desperate and dangerous, having tasted a good life, they can do anything to get money. Most of them end up being hardcore criminals like highway robbers. What happens to dealers once they finally go back to their original poor status is so sad that they lose all their friends simply because they cannot afford to spend on them anymore. Instead, these so-called former friends make fun of them because they are happy that they are poor again, just like them. These fallen dealers can hardly get back up into the money chain because they lack the knowledge to the path to success, like starting small. They think of and desire fast money. In fact, in most cases, because of the shame, they can no longer happily survive in the same society. So they change location. Secondly, because the society they are living in is now fully aware of their fraudulent ways, they can no longer take advantage of people of that society. So, they take their scam to a naive society, but always end up in prison or die mysteriously. If a society is mainly dominated by deals and quick money mentality, the people are bound to be failures. Every society should ensure that especially their young generation should not fall victim to this cheap, unrealistic, and unreasonable mentality, if such a society really aims at achieving a bright, developmental future generation.